Hey there, I just wanted to jump on really quick and do a quick video about whether AI is destroying freelance writing. If you don't know me, my name is Jocelyn. I've been working in media for 20 years now, and I help other writers and freelancers build a media career in the current landscape, which, as we all know, if we're working in it, can be a little bit challenging. I come out of a journalism background, so obviously I've been involved in many rounds of layoffs and I've gone through all the things. So I've kind of let my YouTube channel languish because I don't have time to make videos. So I thought if I tried this style of just giving a few of my thoughts, that might help, and I can kind of address some things that have been coming up a lot with people that I talk to and people that I work with. A few days ago, I was talking with a friend of mine who is a digital marketer, and we've been working together on different projects for probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now. And we were talking about how AI is changing what we do and how our clients interact with us, and just some things that are changing. Now, I don't personally think that AI is going to be the end of freelancing or freelance writing, but I do think that it's changing it in a couple of key ways. And so I want to go over those really quick in this video. So I made some notes here, so I'm going to kind of refer to them. And the first thing is I hear some people who come to me asking for advice, and they want to know, like, should I even bother getting into this? I work with a lot of people who are transitioning either from journalism careers or from other careers, and they want to try copywriting. And so I started out as a journalist, and I transitioned into copywriting about 5 years ago. And I do sort of what's called brand journalism, which is where you are writing journalistic style content for companies. And I also do a lot of traditional copywriting as well. But this is very much, it was a very flourishing area to work in up until a few years ago. And so one of the ways that things have changed is that a lot of companies are now using AI, and they're investing heavily into, AI content companies. There are a few platforms out there that claim to be built specifically for companies to write the kind of journalism and the kind of stories that I would write, typically for clients. And so I've noticed, especially in the last year, that a lot of places have paid a lot of money for these programs. And what they're doing is hiring maybe one or two people in-house to sort of edit that copy that it generates. And that's fine. But I do think that it isn't really the greatest quality, and maybe that'll get better over time. I'm not sure, but they still need editors and writers to come in and work on it. Like, so for example, I have one longtime client who invested in an AI program, and they used it, but they realized that no matter what they do, they're not getting their brand voice. It's not really delivering the style and the tone that they want. So they hire me to come in, and I basically finesse it, and I make it on brand, and I help them both on the prompting side to help them get better results, and I also help them on the editing side. So I think that for anyone who's getting into this, there aren't a whole lot of areas where there won't be any AI. I think newspapers might be one of the only places I can think of that there's just like absolutely no AI at all. But I think we all are kind of familiar with, newspapers not doing as well as they once were. So I'm not sure how many jobs are really available in that right now. However, if you can learn different AI platforms, learn, not just ChatGPT and Claude, although of course those are important, and Grok and Gemini, but learn how to prompt for each one, learn how to create, brand voice. In ChatGPT it's projects. I don't think Claude has projects, but they have folders, or I don't use Claude as much, but the point is, if you can learn good prompting and you can learn how to help your clients achieve content that's closer to brand voice, you're going to deliver value to that client, and they're going to keep coming back to you. So, it's not that AI is taking over. It's that your role as the content partner is changing. And again, even just calling yourself a content partner, like very rarely does someone come to me now and say like, oh, I just need a writer. You're called on to be much more than a writer. You need to understand, how content is performing right now. You need to understand sort of the different ways that you communicate to people across different media. You need to have a little bit more of a wide-ranging look at the different ways of communicating with people, if that makes sense. So that's one way in which it's changing. And if you can be adaptable and you can learn to use the different tools and programs, then you're not going to have a problem. I mean, what you do day to day, you're not going to just be sitting there writing, but in a way that's kind of good. And that leads to another point that I want to make, which is the time expectations have changed a lot in the last year. I think a year ago, it was pretty common to say, well, you need this video script, or you need this blog post, or you need, this white paper, what have you. 10 to 15 business days was pretty reasonable. Maybe not for a blog post. That might be more like 7 business days, maybe a week and a half, depending on, how well you know the client, how well you know their product or their voice. Nowadays, I think there's the expectation that you're going to be using AI to make your job faster. And I think that there's an expectation that you'll be able to deliver content more quickly and more efficiently, and that you'll be able to do a higher volume. I personally haven't had a problem with that, because about a year ago, I started creating, different client profiles in AI where I would be able to, as I said, help them shape their brand voice, but also I use it to streamline my process. So for outlining, I'll usually do multiple drafts, and I can do videos on those things of like how I actually use it in the day-to-day, because it is not as simple as just like, oh, I'm going to put this prompt in and it's going to give me a blog post, and oh yeah, everything's great. Like everyone knows, like, no, that's not going to work because it's like garbage. So you have to finesse it, and you have to know how to finesse it, and you have to run it through. Even after I'll draft something and then I'll change it, and then I'll run it through another two editing iterations where I'll have it look at it from different points of view. Like I'll have it look at it from, prospective client's point of view. Anyway, I can do a whole video on that. But the point is, you do have to understand how to use the tool. That's definitely becoming more important. And people are expecting things a little bit more quickly than they used to. I mean, for sure, I've noticed that 100%. So basically, it's not so much about the words anymore. It's about, do you understand how to make sure things are on brand? How do you make sure that things sound the way they're supposed to? Which you would have done anyway, but now I feel like it's just, I'm not even sure how to explain it. It's like there's a layer missing, or there's a layer that the AI is taking care of, which is the actual just like putting words down, but you still have to finesse it, and you still have to make sure. I guess it's more like being an editor now, versus just a straight writer, which you were doing that anyway. But basically, my whole point of making this video is that I don't think it's dead, but it is definitely different. There has been a 100% shift in the client expectations and in what they're asking for, I'd say over the last year. And I'd say much more so this year. I think I started really noticing the shift in like May. I'm recording this in September of 2025. So I would say summer of 2025, spring to summer of 2025, which I think was, around the 4.0 ChatGPT version. There was like a new version of ChatGPT that came out that was really good. And we can talk about ChatGPT 5 in another video, but there was just like this moment where you could tell that clients were really starting to use it themselves, and they were thinking, oh, okay, I don't need a writer anymore. But then it started to shift a little bit, and they realized, oh wait, this isn't really giving me what I want. So, then it kind of shifted back to, I get clients now, a lot of clients who just, they want me to edit their work. So they clearly did it in ChatGPT, clearly. And sometimes they'll even just tell me like, look, we've been using ChatGPT. We like it, but we don't really think it's giving us what we want. So can you just fix it? I get a lot of that. Can you just fix it? So it's like, yes, I can. I 100% can. Totally with you. Totally going to get it done. So I think if you are transitioning into writing from another career, I think you're going to have a pretty easy time of it. Well, I'm not going to say that because I don't know. Like, I don't know you. I don't know, what your situation is. But I think that people who are transitioning into writing today, in my opinion, will have an easier time of it than, say, 15 years ago, because you have the tools to help you with the deliverables, just the like, how do I structure a blog post for someone, or how do I structure a video script or something like that kind of thing. AI can help you with, like, that sort of technical, structural, like, how do I make this deliverable in a format that it needs to be. That kind of stuff is helpful, and it shaves off some time of learning how to do that. But you're still going to need to understand, whether something is working or not. So you're still going to need that skill set. And if you're brand new, I think that it's like even better, because you don't have a lot of like we used to do it this way kind of baggage. You get to just start fresh. But long way of saying, I do think that there's hope. I do think that you should still get into freelance writing if you're interested in it. I think the opportunities are going to be different. I think that even 2 or 3 years ago, it was relatively easy to, say, pick up a magazine article, and what I mean by that is to pitch an editor at a magazine and get assigned an article. I used to not have any problem with that, but a lot of places now are just bare bones. They don't have a lot of editorial staff. A lot of places have closed. Like, I do find that I'm thinking of a few places in particular where they've kind of changed their whole model of how they bring on contributors. It's just different now. So I think there's some nuance there. I think that if you're writing for publications, that is a little bit different now. But I'll talk about that in a different video. This is already like going on longer than I expected. So let me just check my notes and see if there was anything that I wanted to mention. I did just want to mention really quickly that, because I have been doing this for 20 years and I've worked in all different kinds of medium. I've done documentaries. I've done, newspaper writing. I was a magazine editor. I ran a trade magazine for several years. Like, I've done many different areas, within mass communication. And to me, this is just, another dip, another curve, another thing to adapt to. And once you've been in the industry for any length of time, you're going to already know, like, okay, well, there's this new thing. We're adapting to it. I'm old enough to remember when there were like paste ups when you made magazines, and like Quark Express was still a thing. Like, I actually learned how to do layout on Quark Express, which I don't even think it exists anymore, or if it does, somebody can tell me in the comments. I'm out of it now, but I've seen a lot of changes, is my point. And whether you're new to this or you're switching careers or you're getting into it, I mean, things change over time, and it's totally no problem. And that's the wonderful thing about having a career over a long time, is that you're going to learn different things as you go. So I would say, be optimistic. Don't buy into all the like doom and gloom and like, oh my God, AI is going to write everything and writers are just not going to have anything to do, and we'll all have to, like, I don't know, find some other thing, some other career. I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. I think we're just going to have to adjust and adapt, and I think we totally will. And so that was it. I wanted to just jump on, make a quick video, because I spend so much time, first of all, doing work for other people, but also wanting things to be perfect in my own work, that I don't ever post or do things, the way that I kind of wish I did. So now I'm just going to like not be so perfectionistic and just let it go. So if you would like more off the cuff information, about freelance writing. I just published a book, so I have content planned around book publishing. Let me think, what else? I think that's it. You can drop in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to see, or if you would like to see more structured content. I definitely would like to do more structured content, but sometimes you just gotta get stuff out. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with more videos. And if you would like more information on freelance writing, on writing careers, there's a link to my website in the description. And I have got so much content and information on there about all kinds of things. I also have some old videos on here, which we'll link to at the end card. But anyway, thank you for watching.